Welcome to Neckbeard Nation. I'm Adam.
And I'm Jessica.
And this is the goblet of the day.
And the hat of the day.
Hey, can we be on your guys' show?
I don't know. Should we let them in?
Come on.
I think they're okay.
Oh,
Alright,
nice.
I will approve you.
Alright, cool.
Hi, and welcome to Neckbeard Nation, the show where we talk about neckbeard stuff, like atheism stuff, like all sorts of stuff, and stuff, in our own fun and informative way. Today, we have an extra special episode, as you may have noticed by us being in a different place. We are at the house of these two folks who are going to be introducing themselves somewhere around now.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Adam.
Alright, that is their names.
I'm Matt.
Yes, that
This
is
is
Matt.
Gizmo from Boston.
Yes, I of course have my goblet of pop. Matt has his hat of the day. Jessica has a wop wop. And Adam's got an atheist t-shirt. So we all have a thing, I suppose. And a nice little second goblet and an Elmo and all sorts of fun.
Feeling good.
Yeah. So we have a fairly new and different setup here. So with our new co-hosts of the day, we'd like to learn a little bit about them. So let's start with the ladies first.
I will love to.
Yes.
Well, I'm Jessica, and I have been thinking myself of an atheist since probably 5. Started thinking about where was God, where did he come from, how did he come from nothing, and I asked people, and they just said, go ask somebody else. I don't know, I don't have the answers, and I just always felt that there had to be answers to be found, and no one ever was able to answer me, so I didn't think I ever believed.
So she thought I had the answers. So she would question me because I used to wear a nice cross on my neck and say a lot of religious things like pray and God bless, and
You took me to church,
I took her to church one time. It wasn't me, it was my uncle.
but I went. That shows
And
how much
we
I
went.
liked you.
We did go. And good thing she did not walk away. So she's always, again, I would have the answers, and when I didn't have answers, I would secretly look it up, and I had no answers. So, with her help in asking me questions, just by asking me questions, I kind of converted to an atheist because I never thought that some imaginary ghost was gonna have answers for me.
I think we both grew together.
We
as
grew
stronger
together,
So, were
and
you-
I think I grew a lot more of a
angrier
angrier person because I see so many godly things and people not
not
working
knowing their own
or
religion.
doing things to better themselves other than just saying, God did it. Thank God. No, it's not thank God.
just a
Thank
cop-out,
yourself and
yeah.
thank the people around you that help you do what you actually did. If God did it, then we wouldn't be having this debate or the discussion right now.
Yeah.
So were you guys dating that whole time, or were you asking questions while you were still just friends, or how did that?
I think we didn't really talk much about it. I remember when we were dating, we
Like-
went to church.
Yeah, when you went to church, were you dating, or were you?
No, we
were
were just
dating.
friends.
Oh, really? I would never go
Friends.
to church.
Well,
we were friends.
he took me to New York, and then I went to church, and
Because we met on MySpace.
yeah.
We were friends. And then all of a sudden I asked her, would you want to go to New York with me? She said yes. We weren't boyfriend or girlfriend. We went to New York, and I introduced her to my family as
a
my friend.
That was nice.
What?
And then took me to church. I don't know
That's
why
crazy.
I ever.
Well, my uncle wanted to take me to church, and she was with me. What
and
am I
I
going to do?
drank the night before, and I was.
What was I
like,
gonna do, just say
sure.
no? Or her?
And I'm like, oh crap. That was like, I really tried to get into it. I really did. I really was like, how do people find this
So
But
did you
I never went to
Good.
church.
really think you were an atheist or even know that term?
Quite honestly, at that time, I don't even think I knew the name of an atheist.
Yeah.
I always just thought, like, I didn't believe in anything. But
Yeah.
the funny thing is that I didn't even know the word of an atheist. Like, I never heard of it. I just knew who I was, but I didn't know to label myself. I just knew that I didn't believe what other people believed.
I learned the term atheist from actually the uncle that took us both to church.
Oh, really?
But it was more of a. I always looked at it as just like an evil gothic person that just believed like in the devil.
And I never
And
heard
it's
of it at all.
unfortunate that there's so many people out there that don't even know what an atheist means. They think that atheists have churches. They think atheists have some type of holy book. And the sad thing is, an atheist, all it means is that you don't believe in a supreme being, a God.
Yeah.
And it's pretty simple.
And it's not even that you're close to accepting it if it's actually true. It's like, just prove it to me, you know?
And they can't.
But it's so weird because people I've talked to, I tell them that's what an atheist is, and it's almost like they don't even hear it. It's like, no, you have it wrong. This is what it is. Here's the definition. I'm telling you what it is. I'm an atheist. I'm telling you what I am and what it is. And it's like they don't even hear it. Like I've had family member I explained that to, and then like there's been people I've explained that to, and then they have become atheists. And it's like a light goes off or turns on, you know. It's like all of a sudden they realize what it is after they become one.
But that's why it's hard not to say something when you do see something that actually bothers you about religion.
I think
and the thing is, our news and everything is surrounded by it. Even on Facebook, like as I was telling you guys earlier, like it's you get on Facebook and you see something about pray, thumbs up, like this, like that, amen, ignore, and walk, you know, this and that. But it's like
bad will happen to you or something like that. Yeah.
That's what like frustrates me, and it's like, and then if you say something, it's like, well, Facebook isn't the place for that. So what is Facebook the place
then it's
for?
okay for
Is
them
it
to
okay for
post.
you to preach and post what you want?
Of course.
But I can't say what I want. I ignore what you
it's
say. Why can't you
disgusting.
just ignore what I say? And if you don't like what I say, let's talk about it maybe privately. You could give me a phone call. We could text. We could private message. And maybe we could go somewhere from there. But everybody either shuts down or says Facebook ain't the place for them or place for that. So it's like, okay, so my Facebook is to make you happy. I don't get it. All right, I'll do that.
Why you are so about wanting to tell other people is because at one point he was religious,
Right.
and so if he can,
But I
change
didn't
and
know
he can
anything.
question and like learn, like those are the people that are really religious. Maybe you'll never be able to change and make them realize. But there's people like Adam that didn't know much about it. And you teach them, and then they realize that they don't want to be in that religion. That they realize that they didn't even know what the religion was that they believed in, which is like at least like 50% of people that are religious don't even know.
So
Yeah.
Well, but my favorite thing is that when you point something out from the Bible, it's like, well, that's the Old Testament. And I'm like, well, that's fine and dandy, but did you know that the Old Testament is the Torah, which is the Jewish Holy Bible? And they're like, no, that's not true. So I was like, did you look it up? No. So it's like, they've never even opened up a Bible. And to me, that's straight up ignorance
Yeah,
because
well, at
they
that
don't
point,
even
it's
know what
willful
they're
ignorance,
reading.
you know?
A perfect example is her brother. You know, Noah's Ark is what? And maybe the first 2 chapters of the Bible. Like, if you just open up the book, you would know what Noah's Ark is.
Yeah.
But if you never opened it, obviously you're going to say, oh, I don't believe in that. Like, well, so if you don't believe in that, then
can't
how do you
pick and
believe the
choose.
New Testament? What, did you just read the New Testament and study the new stuff?
Alright.
So, if I could sum it up, you were trying to get in her pants, so you started believing everything she was saying. Is that what's happening?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
So
Yeah.
it worked.
Yeah.
I
It
converted
worked. Oh,
somebody.
there you go, you guys.
I converted somebody without even wanting to know.
But
I didn't know
it
what I was
wasn't like
converting
a
him to
quick
because I
conversion.
wasn't
Like,
even,
we never bothered us.
I wasn't even an atheist at that time
Yeah.
either. I just never believed, and then I
Yeah.
started to learn more.
No,
and
that
we
is
learned
cool.
more together.
Oh,
We fed off
right.
each other.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
totally started learning even more together. Like I was just kind of like whatever about it, and then like as I started to realize that was silly not to just be whatever about it, to actually educate myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I did it together.
That's
Within the
kinda
last
strong
3
learning.
years, I'll say, that's when we kind of...
Like or head on like.
And then I joined so many Facebook pages about atheists versus theists and this, that. And all you do is you could just sit there and just let other people talk
they'll
about
just
random
argue for
things.
hours. It's
And
not worth
it's
it.
just...
That's kind of the same way Jen and I grew together, but a little bit different story. But yeah, we kind of grew together like that towards atheism. It's pretty cool to hear.
Yes, so we're all atheists here. Big shock. But unlike Matt and I, these two atheists have produced a couple of little atheist bundles of joy of their own.
3 to be exact.
Yeah.
3. I guess that's more than a couple. So, why don't you tell us about them?
Well, we have 3-year-old twin girls, and then we have a just about to be 1-year-old boy. And that's always questioned us. I don't think when we had the kids, we weren't sure what we were going to do. I just know for sure I wasn't going to baptize them. I know that killed my grandma.
And at that time, I was a little on like back and forth about it, just because again, like
it's
you
tradition.
and I talked about before, it's tradition. You just, but you at
so
some point,
you knew you were an atheist.
not at that point.
Oh,
No.
so wait, so you got Did you already have children before you converted?
We had kids, and then about maybe when
He was questioning it way before that, but he wasn't a full-on atheist.
right.
Oh wow, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it was within the last, like I said, last 2-3 years. We've been together almost 9.
So, give us a timeline. So you had your daughters,
3.5 years ago.
and at what point after your daughters did you like totally come out? Was it between your daughters and your
Between
son?
them being maybe one
Yeah.
and a half.
I think it was more and more that we started finding out that like people. I think
The more your grandma pushed the subject about baptizing the kids, she would actually question me sometimes because I was like, let's just
the
do it to
conversation
make
would
her
come
happy.
up, and then it would
But then it
bring
got
us
to the
up.
point where I was like, yeah, that's bullshit. We're not going to be baptizing the kids. Like, well, why don't we just get a toilet water and baptize them and send her video?
That's what I said. I was like,
it's
just
just
take her
as
video
good.
and make
What's wrong
her
with the
feel
water?
better.
Like, and then that's when it kind of like we both got on board, and she would question me more and more.
and when we started learning more and more,
and the more I learned, the crazier and angrier I got, because it's like I actually read the Bible. I installed the app on my phone. I read a lot of chapters and books, and then from when I started reading some of it, I was like, well, this isn't giving me the full story. So I opened the book from the beginning, and I read it, and that's how I learned it. And I could guarantee that 95% of people that are Christian don't even open the book. They just follow the
even
tradition.
if they do, I mean, it's a big book of multiple choice, so they're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna read the same thing you read and interpret it completely different.
Yeah,
Or
you took
want
it the
to
wrong
interpret
way.
it
And I think the other reason why we started even getting more angry is one of our friends, our ex-friends, is really religious, and she believes the world is 6,000 years old, and we went to a
People
birthday
are born
party,
with logic,
and the birthday party parting gifts was Moses story, little kid books. And the Virgin Mary, and that's what we got
made us
as our
both go
party,
crazy.
like party favors. And I'm like,
So that was for the daughters, was it?
yeah. And I just was like, that's overboard. Like, you're going into
You're
teaching
pushing this.
my kids
Yeah.
something that we don't believe in. And I just thought that was very irritating.
Yeah.
Very much so, I
You
can
know.
imagine.
Yeah.
With this background, you had become fully atheist parents now.
Yes.
And so
Die
that is our subject today, is not made evident by the beginning of this episode. It is atheist parenting. And so I'm interested to learn about your plans going forward, teaching your children about secular morality.
It is a hard thing to do because you're not sure what you want to teach them, when to teach them, because they could learn from somebody else before from you, and you don't want that because then they're going to already have that idea in their head. So it's hard.
Would you say you have a game plan now, or
I have a game plan of trying to teach them the right way, like with the books that I've been giving them and reading to them. They're a little bit not too interested yet. They can't really figure it out, but I feel like if I just keep doing it, at some point it'll start to click slowly. And if they already have that idea in their head, I think it'll be better for them to learn the science behind it. And then if they ever learn about religion, they're going to know so much about the science that they're going to be like, yeah, that doesn't really make much sense. I don't really, you know what I'm saying? So I think that if they believe in science and they learn about science and educate themselves, they'll make their own educated guess on religion, I think.
it sounds almost like you could be leading them to an end of being atheist. I'm not saying that that's the case, but I'm just saying like somebody else, religious person watching this might think maybe you're indoctrinating them to be an atheist. Do you ever worry about doing that, or do you want them to say?
Because there's no really indoctrination, though. It's more of like
what about other religious people? They put it in their minds that they read passages and they take them to church and they push them to do what they want to do.
No, I agree.
So,
but I just wonder: is teaching children about science indoctrination, or is it just giving them tools?
To me, it's not. You're just teaching them life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to be like, you can't believe in a God. Like, if they want to go and do that and they want to learn and they want to ask about religion, which I'm sure they will because they're going to have friends that are religious, but maybe not too religious like them. Like, we kind of had to, it was just too much. But, I mean, there's people that believe in whatever they want to believe in, and I'm not going to tell them what to do. But I don't want them to push their beliefs on my kids, and I want them to make their own decisions.
It's kind of like Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy. At some point, they're going to discover those things are not real. And the same way that we're going to help them discover that these things aren't real is the same way we're going to help them discover that God isn't real.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same steps. You know what I mean? Like, the Tooth Fairy, just like Jessica, when she was a kid, just to bring it back, when she was a kid, she had her tooth fall out. She hid her tooth, did not tell her mother that her tooth fell out. And the next day came around. So she basically tested her own mother.
That's
to me awesome because she hid the tooth.
Things.
She told her mom the next day and that she didn't have any money under her pillow.
Why don't I?
And she's like, why? And basically the mom was like, well, you have to tell me these things, and if you want, you can take over from there.
And I said, why do you have to tell me these things? If you're not the Tooth Fairy,
exactly.
Then why did I have to tell you? And I said, are you the Tooth Fairy? And she goes, fine, Jesse, you want to know the truth? There is no Santa Claus, there is no Easter Bunny, there is no Tooth Fairy. And she
I just wish she
dropped me off at the
included
school
God
bus.
in that.
Well, exactly. And then she goes, well, don't let it ruin your day. I'm
And
like,
get on the bus and go to school.
I actually have a story kind of like that too. One time I was sick. I lived with my grandmother at the time, and I was sick one night, and I had a loose tooth, and I was throwing up, and my tooth fell out when I was throwing up into a bucket. I thought I swallowed it because I was a kid. I didn't know what happened, and but I think it went into the bucket. But it's kind of gross. But I was freaking out. I'm like, Grandma, I lost my tooth just now. I think I swallowed it. I need to get the money for it. She's like, oh, don't worry. The Tooth Fairy will still pay you. I'm like, how if I can't put it under the pillow? She's like, oh, don't worry. I'll tell the Tooth Fairy that it fell out, and I'll tell her where it is. And that was her story, was that I have to tell her about the teeth because she calls the Tooth Fairy and tells the Tooth Fairy that they're... So that's how she got around it.
See, that was sad.
But see, Jessica's way was like
testing
they should know.
Up. Yeah.
So basically, that's how we're gonna basically, approach it is, how can we prove Santa's not real when it's the right time to let, after her and I are over doing the Santa tradition, you know what I mean? Like, we like holidays. That's another thing. Like, we celebrate holidays just because we like
do all the
gatherings.
Stuff.
We like to do all that fun stuff.
Well, I mean,
there's
Santa has almost nothing to do with it.
And it doesn't, but people do think...
I mean, it's Saint Nick, but...
Exactly, but people think that it's because of... It's Jesus and this and that, and it's not because of him. If anything, it's a pagan holiday.
Easter Bunny is the pagan holiday, I don't know about...
I think even the Santa Claus stuff has ties into paganism somewhat.
No.
Well, the tree.
The tree,
yeah.
but
I
that's
mean, a lot of it does.
But
and then Saint Nick, and there's just so many different...
But they just attach the term Christ to it, and now it's co-opted by them.
Yeah, I mean, they adopted the holiday. Everyone kind of did, except for,
But, I mean, on that note, as a kid, I tried to see Santa, not because I was trying to disprove him, but I was like, oh, I want to meet Santa. I want to see him bringing the gifts in. And this memory might have been created in my childhood mind, but I swear I went out and saw my grandma putting the gifts under the tree. But you always hear stories of that, like the kids catching the parents, And then I swear I caught her. I think she even said oh, Santa was busy, so he had me do it or something like that. But you always hear stories about how kids are trying to do that. So I mean,
she did it. She did everything.
I was always trying to find out the answers.
Question.
Because I always was questioning, and I think that's a good thing to instill into your children is to question and to find out your own answers, not just believe what people tell you. I mean,
Buck's a Jew, so do you have any Jewish stories? Like, did you try to...
Well, my parents tried to convince me of good old Hanukkah Harry. No.
Hanukkah Harry.
No, there was... having never had any sort of Christmas ever, Christmas is the day our family gets together and has Chinese food and a movie.
Whatever works.
Die Hard?
Hey, no.
Is that hard for you, not having Christmas? Because a lot of other kids had Christmas.
No.
We had Hanukkah.
I loved Hanukkah.
That's even
get
better.
more
You
gifts.
get 8
It's
days.
8
Yeah, more
days.
gifts and
Days.
stuff.
I want to be Jewish. That's
Like,
That
if
is
you
awesome.
guys-
I know, but like you
But
feel
we
different
can
from all
if
the
you
other
really
kids.
want to.
There's not that many. We could do whatever.
We could do
make
whatever
a
we
plan.
want.
Yeah, like you guys are
Let's do all
atheists.
25 days of until Christmas.
Yeah, you could, because since you don't believe in any of this shit anyways,
Fun.
It's up to us.
You could co-opt whatever holidays you want. You can have Kwanzaa.
It's like it's saying in the book, every day is an atheist holiday. You know?
Yeah.
It's like you make your own holidays.
Absolutely. And so, no, I think, because I was thinking about that when they were saying, like, we still do Santa. We still, have Christmas.
Easter.
Like, well, if you don't believe in it anymore, why don't you just do all sorts of other stuff?
Yeah.
So it just
Well,
seems...
I guess I think somebody was saying that the fear of the kids being different, which I have no fear of that. Like for my kids, like
right.
I've talked to like my wife about it, and we kind of brought it up with my in-laws. And, like, we even said, like, if our son wants to wear a dress or wear pink or whatever, I don't care. He can wear whatever he wants. Like, there's no stigma on that because he when he's an adult, he can do whatever he wants. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as long as he's not harming himself, you know what I mean? I want the child, or, if it's a girl, she can help me work on the car or something, It's like...
Right, and certainly that's a good message. I mean,
so
there could be
sure.
some limitations on that, like... Because sometimes they don't understand what it means to wear the dress to school. And maybe if you explain that, then they're like, oh, then I don't want to, because now I know why this isn't normally done.
Well,
but
there's
if
a
they
story,
still want to, that's
because
fine.
I pay attention to that type of things, and there was a story about this woman who she had a son, and he liked these shoes that were pink tiger striped shoes, and he thought they were awesome because they were tiger stripes. He didn't realize they were for a girl. All he cared was that they were cool tiger stripes.
Yeah.
And it's our society that pushes on the kid that there's something wrong with that just because it's pink. When the funny thing is, I think like 100 years ago, pink was a masculine color.
Yes.
So
yes.
why do we put these weird... I don't get it,
It's all like, it's all up to like society to tell you
what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's not
I mean, I do the same thing. I have twin girls, and then I had Preston. I wasn't gonna go out and get all boy stuff. I was like, he's gonna play with the pink stuff. I don't
that actually that's what led to our conversation. Is when we have kids, we're like, what if we don't? Do you want to know what the kid is, and what if we don't know? How do we tell people what gifts to get? So we were trying to decide if we want to know or be surprised, and if we thought of the situation where if you're surprised by it, then how do people buy you gifts beforehand? So we're like, what? So we're like, imagine the situation where we don't know, and we're like, just tell people to get us whatever they want, and the kid can have whatever, if he wants to play with the pink stuff, play with the pink stuff. If he doesn't, or I'm saying he, I mean it could be a girl, But that's what got us. That's what at least got me thinking down that
For
path.
clothes wise, obviously you don't want to have them buy pink tutus. And
I
then
honestly would not care.
But you don't want to like push that on them as having
I'm not going to
tutus
push it on
No,
them,
but I'm saying, but like they're a month old and you're putting a boy with tutu.
Well, I mean, what does it matter? I mean,
At a month, it doesn't matter because they don't know what's happening anyways.
Oh, I know, but like,
but
like toys for sure.
I see.
There's an element of socialization that is important in this stage of life, and while society's rules are often just bullshit, there is some value in having the children understand what the societal values are, so that they know.
If they want to go out of the box, they can.
Right,
and
so
they'll
they know
that they.
I agree.
Right.
I agree. But there's also if there's enough people who realize all these things, they can change society. You know what I mean? It's like,
true.
Suppose.
But you don't want to change society into that aspect of things.
Well,
But
why
let
not?
them feel free to do whatever they want. Is pretty much what he's trying to
That's
say.
my point. Is
Yeah.
like all over the world, people wear all different things.
Yeah.
There's guys who wear dresses all over the world.
guys
the
that wear the
kilts and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
That's normal.
What is-
I know.
What is this arbitrary? You know what I mean? Bull crap we have to attach to our children. I
I
drives
just
me
got my
nuts.
son's ears pierced.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's
And
that's
I don't
what
care
I'm
what
saying.
people say.
someone came up to me, a little girl, and she goes, one of my daughter's friends, and she goes, "Is that a girl or a boy?" And I said, "He's a boy." And she goes, "Well, why does he have his ears pierced?" And I said,
Well, half the time
don't
you can't
mean-
tell anyway, one way or another when they're that young. You know?
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I mean, no, that's true, though. You can't. But, like, he's pretty manly. So I was like, I don't really care.
Yeah, because
but,
Jessica
like,
kind of questioned it at first. She's
I
like,
was
well,
like-
my mom or I don't
and
remember.
a lot of
remember
people
what
say
she
that
said.
they don't want that done. Because
And I was like, well,
it's
I don't
a
care what
boy.
people think
But I'm
about
like,
it.
how many guys? I asked her. I go, "Well, you've never seen a boy with ears pierced?" She's like, She's like, "My dad has his ears pierced." I was
Yeah,
like,
that's my
there
point.
you go.
It's this
Like,
weird stigma. you know?
Yeah,
It's
just because he's a baby, they're gonna say that for sure it's a girl because his ears are
At
pierced.
that age, it's not necessarily a stigma. Children's minds are kind of black and white.
I'm not
when it
saying on the
comes to
kid.
these
I'm saying
things.
on society,
Well-
where they automatically see these things.
Yeah.
The
see
ear
it wrong.
pierced, that means it's a girl.
Or they
If
see
they
it
have
wrong,
pink
or-
on, that means it's a girl. You know.
And you know, not all of this is people trying to further a gender norm. A lot of it is people trying to either conform
Yeah.
to what they think is the gender norm, or because they like the gender norm and think, oh, wouldn't it be cute to have a little girl and have her be pink, 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 pink? You know,
Yeah.
these Reese Witherspoon moms out there just want everything to be, you know, all Hollywood for them. So yeah, I can see that go either way.
But it's like in this whole feminist movement, like I think it was in the feminist movement, somebody brought up how when you go to a toy store, you go in the girls' aisle, everything is pink.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You go in the boys' aisle, it's every other color. You know what I'm saying? Under the sun, boys have the free reign of whatever color they want, all this other stuff. Girls only get pink.
Pink or
That's
purple.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or purple.
or
That's
purple.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And it's like the whole aisle, just an aisle, like a pink bomb went off.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's
I
true.
don't know, dude.
right, right. And
It's not fair. Yeah.
Sure.
I don't
It's,
think-
it's like putting their ideas in their own head without them even
Yeah.
knowing.
So
Sure.
is the kid gonna want to wear pink because they like it, or is it because that's what they've been taught is the right way to be? You know,
Yeah.
I just want to.
There's a lot
Let
of
them
marketing
start pick
around
out their
it, you
own
know?
Yeah.
way. Let them.
Right. Although, you know, in the end, it doesn't matter what color the kid wears. I mean, a color. So who cares about
Exactly.
colors?
But a lot of people do.
Oh, there's a purple one over there.
There's two purple ones.
Yeah. They're wearing
Wanna
purple
bring 'em in?
dresses.
Yeah, sure.
Girls, you want
Come
to
in for
say
2
hi?
seconds. Come here.
Come here, girls.
Hi.
Preston's up too.
He is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a cute.
You're
That
scared
was
of
not
what,
a good
baby?
idea.
I think it's because it's the guys. She
Okay.
has a big.
Alright, so
spirit.
go to Lala. Go.
Tiana, you want
Go
to
to
say
Lala.
hi?
Go.
Fuck, what did you do?
Gosh, Buck.
It's the man. It's the
It's
men.
the beard.
I naturally scare small children.
Don't worry, we do not eat children, no matter what people say.
You guys can go get
I'm not
Preston.
gonna hold myself to that. I could eat small children in the future.
Oh.
Alright, that's a different show.
Yes.